So they're going to put the Albert Pike Confederate statue back in D.C. Back in D.C., they're going to put the Confederate statue back up. So during 2020, the Black Lives Matter protest, because they put, the knee on the neck of George Floyd for 8 minutes, essentially just killing the guy. Big, giant dude has to just obey the monopoly, the violence of the state. And so people are pissed off. They looked at racist symbols and they tore down the Albert Pike statue. This is a big 27-foot tall bronze statue. Albert Pike was a piece of shit. Not only was he a fucking Confederate, but he was like one of the main leaders of the KKK. And he was a big old fat fuck too. He weighed 300 pounds. So you're like, you know what we need? We need a goddamn Shamu. That's who you guys idolize. That's who you guys respect. Fucking Head Seth is talking about, you damn woke lemmings. You all destroyed the Confederate fucking statues because you're a bunch of woke lemmings. Wow. Wow, Head Seth. So Albert Pike, they're going to reinstate, they're going to fix the fucking bronze statue up, and then they're going to put it back up again. He was a Freemason, he is a Confederate, KKK, racist, overweight, disgusting, fat fuck. Why would you restore that fat fuck back to prominence? Back to prominence. Didn't God say he was a God of the living, not of the dead? Yeah, you're preserving history, because I'm sure you guys are a bunch of great historians. Besides the 4 years of Civil War, the 1860s, can you tell me when the 14th Amendment was passed? What other president before or after in the 1800s do you fucking like? Get the fuck out of here. You're going to act like Albert Pike is Muhammad Ali? You're acting like he's Muhammad Ali or George Foreman or Superman or some shit? Albert Pike is no Thomas L. Crittenden. Albert Pike is no William Rosecrans. Albert Pike is no Philip H. Sheridan. The nation's capital. So we're going to put Albert Pike up in the nation's capital. The Confederate flag didn't fly in the White House until January 6th. The Confederate flag didn't wave in the damn White House during the Civil War. During the Civil War, we were able to have a fucking election too, which is remarkable. McClellan v. Lincoln, 1864. So 300 fucking pounds, huh? That's like Albert Pike as if Chris Christie and Donald Plump was put together. If you were to put Donald Plump and Chris Christie together, then you got an Albert Pike. This is a white supremacist John Wilkes Booth presidency. They hate the 14th Amendment. They hate the Constitution. They hate the Bill of Rights. They're a bunch of white supremacist piles of shit. It's a Nathan Bedford Forrest Fuhrer. They don't know anything about Don Carlos Buell. They don't know even George McClellan was an adversary of Lincoln. And I kind of don't like George McClellan. But at least he was an American. At least he was on the side of the Union, on the side of Lincoln, on the side of freedom, on the side of, righteousness, on the good side. Ambrose Burnside. I'd rather have a statue of Ambrose Burnside, McClellan, Don Carlos Buell. Not Braxton Bragg. Not Barry Benning. And I'm sure it's not Barry Benning, but you don't even know who the fuck Fort Benning or Fort Bragg is even named after. Fort Buell, Fort Burnside, Fort McClellan. You got cities named Burnside. You got cities named Winfield. The damn Chitwoods. The damn Chitwoods lived in a city called Chitwood, but they were on the side of Confederates. Now it's known as Winfield today. Nathan Bedford Forrest, that Fort Pillow massacre and motherfucker, and then that Leonidas Polk. That Leonidas Polk. Is that all you guys want to do is just suck Leonidas's Polk's fucking butthole all day long? You Confederate fucking piles of shit. Leonidas Polk was the first one to penetrate Kentucky. He's the one that he invaded Kentucky. Instead of trying to win Kentucky over to their side, they said, we're just going to fucking take them over. And then when he invaded Kentucky, then the American troops went in to defend Kentucky from these fucking insurgents, these goddamned anti-American killing sons of bitches. I think that the federal government should be very careful honoring anti-Americans who warred against the United States of America. The Confederacy gives everybody a blueprint of how to topple the United States of America. The Confederates killed Americans. The Confederates, whether you think of it as a rebellion or a revolution, first step, you secede, right? You get a hold of the state government, you secede, then you get other states to secede with you, and then you take all those states that seceded out of the United States of America, and then you form a new union, a rainbow coalition. You form your own country. I think a good start for the Rainbow Revolution would be Washington, Oregon, and California. Wouldn't that be a great country? Washington, Oregon, and California would make a good, strong backbone for a brand new country. Mao Zedong says that if you know thyself and you know thy enemy, you'll win every battle. So this Albert Pike is y'all's brand new hero, huh? Albert Pike, good old Albert Pike. Oh, you all love some Albert Pike, huh? You all love some Albert Pike. You all love pie or Albert Pike anymore? Which one do you like more, Albert Pike or pie? Yeah. So he's going to lose Missouri. He's going to lose Arkansas. Not only was he a shitty general, he's going to fucking lose his battle, the Battle of Pea Ridge, but he's going to lose the whole fucking war. And then he's going to like steal money and weapons, and they're going to fucking court-martial him. He's going to be a fucking war criminal. And he's going to have to resign. And then he becomes part of the Confederate fucking Supreme Court. So if you secede, then you should keep the three branches of government, and you should still, let's see here. We'll apply the lessons of Albert Pike to the Rainbow Revolution, okay? Neither Arkansas nor the Freemasons wanted Albert Pike's bronze statue back. They didn't want a tribute to that wretched fat fuck. Arkansas and the Freemasons was like, nah, we don't want that. DC is like, yes, please. Pete Hegseth. Not only are they bringing back Albert Pike statue, the 27-foot tall bronze statue. Is it going to be 300 pounds? Is it going to be the big fat fucking Albert Pike? They're also bringing back a reconciliation statue to the Arlington National Cemetery, where they have an image of Mammy Jane, and a slave man with his owner. It's all because of the Führer's Executive Order 14253. A lot of people are saying, you know, why don't we just put these Confederate statues in a museum? Why don't we just put these Confederate statues into a museum? Why? Why don't we just blow them the fuck up? Why don't we melt them and turn them into fucking ammunition? The fuck we need to goddamn celebrate white supremacist, treasonous, traitorous, anti-American piles of shit. A bunch of terrorists. A bunch of anti-American terrorists. Talk about having the enemy within the country. The call isn't coming from outside the house. The call is coming from inside the house. So not only is this Albert Pike a fucking loser, but he's also a quitter. He was also a grand dragon on the KKK judicial officer. He's like the high fucking Supreme Court of the KKK. I didn't even know the KKK had a Supreme Court. But I guess when you're, Supreme Court of the Confederates, you got to at least like keep pretending that you was doing a thing. So this motherfucker, Albert Pike, is basically appointed by Satan himself. He's the fucking Prince of Darkness. He was a Whig, and then he was an anti-Catholic, anti-Irish, anti-German know-nothing. And then in 1856, Albert Pike is going to storm out of the know-nothing meeting. Why? Because they weren't pro-slavery. What? You think the